Hey everyone, it's Hunter with Group 9 talking about Chapter 5 this week, which is selecting which value stream to start with. And so I guess the general idea is that we're in a position in a company to kind of refactor or improve our value stream that we already have going on. So it looks like the introduction is going to be talking about the principles in which the value stream can be selected from and start with. So as these individuals that we'll be when we have to work through either, I guess, improving our value stream, we have to say, hey, let's take a look at these DevOps principles and sort of transform what we're doing now and go forward with this DevOps, with these DevOps principles. And so we kind of take a look at where we can improve, and we'll learn later on in the chapter. It's kind of best to do it a few steps at a time and a few key areas at a time rather than all at once. And then when we start this, we have to think about the people that can be involved in the transformation process, and then how we can kind of educate maybe employees, what to do, how to communicate better, and so forth. Alright, so selecting which value stream to start with. And so there's no types of value streams. It's just selecting, I guess, the steps, the best steps to get your product from point A to point B. And so things that you need to consider when choosing a value stream for DevOps for value stream for DevOps transformation are things like, what type of product are we giving out, and then like what type of teams do we have? How can these teams, I guess, get better communication between the two? And how do we have this a fast process where there's feedback constantly evolving throughout the project, but also not so fast so we look past a lot of things and have a lot of mistakes. And so it's important to choose the best value stream for your company that will focus on productivity but not hurting work that's already been done. So maybe you have employees that are experienced for many years and they're just doing it a certain way. I don't like communicating with this group. They don't know what they're doing. They might have that mindset. So how do you kind of combat that and introduce new principles that are faster, more efficient, without taking away what's already been done, the work that people have worked hard on? Maybe they'll feel bad saying, hey, I worked 10 years or whatever on this way to do things, now we're just changing it again. That's kind of wasted. And I'm just kind of throwing out ideas here, but this is kind of what I'm feeling is it's talking about. And then, okay, so greenfield versus brownfield services. All right, so you're like, okay, what is greenfield, brownfield? So I guess if you imagine, if you play Minecraft, you have like a green pile of land, right? When you just start out and you're like all these blocks, and then if you were to, I guess, dig down, it becomes brown dirt, right? So it's kind of like greenfield is fresh and new, like a new company. Brownfield is a company that's been in the field for a while and it's kind of built up their empire and so forth. So it's basically greenfield is new, brownfield is experienced. Which is DevOps better suited for? And I think it's popular belief that it would be suited better for greenfield or for new companies, as they can take full advantage of starting day one with using DevOps principles. But it's actually used for both, right? There's no issue. In fact, it's actually encouraged to take a company that's basically already experienced and improve upon it, right? Companies are in business for money. They need to stay relevant, and they will use the better principles, nowadays DevOps, to get their products going faster to the customer, trying to lower costs and so forth. And then, alright, so consider both system of record and system of engagement. What is more important, doing it fast or doing it right? So system of record will be doing it fast, or type 1. System of engagement is doing it right, or type 2. And so you kind of have to take a look again at mixing both of these together, right? You can't just do all one. You can't just do it all fast and hope to, or expect to get it a great product and a great, I guess, company talking with each other and so forth. And you can't expect just to do it 100% right and have it get out in a timely manner So unfortunately, there is drawbacks to doing only one, but with DevOps, or basically this sort of value stream, it's of course going to bring the best of both worlds while in a fast-paced work environment doing it right, right? So you, of course, there's going to be mistakes made. All companies make mistakes. They're ran by humans, but by the constant feedback of the entire value stream going forward, it's aiming to eliminate a lot of those mistakes while doing it right, but also not focusing or not dwelling too much on what was wrong, but just improving continually going forward. Alright, start with the most sympathetic and innovative group. So this section in the chapter, I didn't really understand who it was talking to again. I guess if the idea is that we are these individuals and these companies aiming to help refactor our company's value stream, then that kind of makes sense if that's who it's talking about, because it says we should. So I guess the first category is we should target startups in regards with using DevOps, or why should we target startups, and then we should help them develop opinions about the right way to code. So the startups, they are going to be like younger individuals. They're more willing to have their mind changed. They're more willing to learn these new ideas, and it's better if it's a startup, to start doing it the best way we know right now. I think that's just using, again, DevOps principles. And then I talked about, I guess, developers and software coding, how if a lot of developers have like their opinions on the right way to code, and that's no problem, right? A lot of developers, it doesn't have to just stick with coding in general, but it specifically talks about coding with this chapter. But everyone has their own way of doing things, and again, I guess you can say about using right way and the fastest way. You're going to have your opinions on things in life, things about the software, things about DevOps, what are the right principles, but it's important that you just kind of build those opinions and go forward, ever evolving with better ones. Expanding DevOps across our organization. So it's important to start with a few areas of the workforce and expand from there. They gave a couple examples in this chapter about companies focusing, I think, on a few specific areas instead of changing the entire company as a whole. It's a lot of work. It's not just switch and say, okay, we're DevOps now. We're a DevOps company, especially for the brownfield services. The company's been doing it their way for a long time, and so if we are to change or start using DevOps principles, I like to think I would target one area at a time, but some people take like 1 to 2 or 3 at a time. And then it says, when errors are made, it will be easier to correct when following a DevOps model. And that's specific because DevOps is always, I guess everyone collaborates, right? And so if you have marketing team working on, I guess, a poster for the next great movie, and then halfway through the production, it's like, oh wait, actually we're going to be starring this actor now, and they have like this artist draw like this, figure or this person about what the movie's going to be about, and comes to find out that the main actor is not even that person anymore, and that will be able to be corrected a lot faster if they were using, like I said, DevOps model. They're always collaborating and say, hey, yeah, we're not going to be using this actor anymore. I don't know if my analogies make sense, but that's kind of the way I see it. Is I like the one that makes most sense to me is the marketing team, because they have to do a lot of work and get the right music going, the right graphics. But of course, also for production, right? You have let's say you're making the next Xbox. You have the model going forward. You have your factories all set up to make those specific models, and all of a sudden there was a change in that, and nothing was brought up to the team. Like, oh wait, I have to change the whole factory because we're making all these wrong boxes for the Xbox model, and so forth. I think you can make more analogies that way. All right, so conclusion. So basically, chapter 5 is all about helping businesses and individuals understand what value stream to use for your product business. So it's understanding again that DevOps principles are the way forward, and it's what DevOps principles are better for your company. How do you kind of take the best of both worlds of doing it right and doing it fast? And despite popular belief, DevOps can be used in either company, any company really. It doesn't have to be new, it doesn't have to be outdated or experienced. DevOps is simply transforming the company or starting off the company with a very fast and productive value stream. So hopefully this makes sense. I learn a lot when I do these videos. It kind of helps me put together my thoughts in my mind, and maybe I'll speak a little more about that, and just to kind of make the thought sink in a little longer, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.